Hi everyone, it's Ashley T. Garden Paper Crafts and I'm here with a quick tutorial today. I've been asked before how I do a hidden spine in a journal. So I am putting together my design team project for Nonstop Paper Crafts, and I figured I would bring you along to show you how I do a hidden spine. Everyone does them a little bit differently. This is just my way. I'm not saying that there's rights or wrongs. This is just what works for me. So I've already created my cover. The only thing I have not done is I've left my spine inside plain. I did bring my backing paper for the cover, the inside cover, just slightly inside here of the spine. So that way when I put glue in my hidden spine, I've got coverage in case it doesn't come exactly, because you still want to be able to fold your cover. So you need your spine to be slightly smaller. You want it to fit snugly, but slightly smaller. And then that way I'm not piercing through the outside of my spine here to sew in my signature. Okay, so these are my two signatures that I have already sewn in. If you want a tutorial on how to sew in signatures, I would be happy to show you this more in depth, but I just wanted to do a quick tutorial. So I have taken a piece of thick chipboard, put a pretty piece of paper over it to cover, because you will see a little bit of the spine. So I wanted that to be pretty, but the opposite side of it is plain. So what we are going to do, and also I sewed my signatures in backwards. Normally your knots would be in the center of your signatures. Instead, I sewed into them from this side, and then I have this here in the center. I just think it looks a little bit nicer for a hidden spine. It looks a little more finished that's just my opinion, but there's no right or wrong way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my Fabrifix, a nice strong glue, and I am going to glue all the way around. I'm going to be super, super careful to make sure I get as close to the edge as possible here. And do not be afraid to use a good amount of glue on this, because this is going to stick your spine. Like, this is sticking your signatures in. This is how they stay. So you definitely do not want to go skimpy on the glue. This might be a good application if you like using hot glue. This would be a good application for that. I don't like using hot glue. I have never found it to be super reliable. I've had things pop off no matter what quality glue I'm using, so it's just not my favorite. So I prefer this. Okay, so what we're going to do is you want to lay your spine down flat. Make sure you have it facing up if you have a direction that you want it to be. Make sure you have your signature and your cover facing the same direction. And you are going to line up your hidden spine here inside your journal. And so it helps if you have your signature or your cover pieces folded already, because then you know your signature is going to fit in. And then you want to make sure that you're lining it up with the top and bottom so that it's not showing. And then we are going to press down nice and firmly. At this point, I like to open up to the center of my signatures and put the first half here. Ooh, the signature did not get tied in very tightly, did it? Oh dear. Okay, so if you have a signature like this where mine is clearly a little not sewn in super tight, you can gently pull here and then pull your signature tight, and then you can adjust your strings so that it's a little tighter. And then I press down nice and firm, so that's pressing down along this edge here. And then I'm going to open up to the other side here and put all of my signatures up to this side and press down. And then I'll come to the center and press down. If you want to, you can, if you have small clamps, you could clamp in here. I do not have clamps small enough to fit in there, so I'm just going to keep working on it until it gets in there. And then I will set this aside to dry, and I will let it dry completely, probably overnight, until before I start decorating it and before I ink up my edge here. And I'm going to ink up my edge here with the pink that I am using for this journal. And that is it. That is how I make a hidden spine in my journals. So I hope you found this helpful. If you want a more in-depth tutorial of how to do everything from creating the cover, making the piece for the spine, sewing the signatures to the spine and everything, please comment below or leave me a comment in my Facebook group, and I would be happy to show you how I do that. But in the meantime, I hope that you found some inspiration here, found this helpful, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!